Talk about Quinn Priester. That was announced more so over the weekend. Speaking about videos, if you saw his as well, his was told like in game. So he started this weekend. He pitched, and he only pitched one inning. And that set alarms off a lot of people. I mean, again, if you're in the North Shore 9 Discord, which if you're not, get in it. But if you're in the North Shore 9 Discord, everyone's talking about, oh my God, Quinn Priester pitched one inning and it was pulled. Quinn Priester alert, right? And that's actually what happened. He saw his video. He was just sitting on the bench, and the coach was like, "We're not putting it back in." So we can't. You're going to the major leagues, right? So Quinn Priester makes his major league debut. Going to start today, Jim. Again, that's what's really, really awesome. 3 players getting called up on the same day, and I assume all 3 are going to start. So Quinn Priester and Endy catching Quinn Priester, maybe? Maybe. That's going to be kind of cool. But yeah, so Quinn Priester getting the call up today. Will start today. And again, we're talking about a guy who's like overall numbers aren't great, right? But like when you look at recently, like his April was not good at all. And then he kind of hit his stride a little bit. So like I'm going to talk about this too. Like his last 13 games, right? 13 starts, which was 68 innings pitched, a 3.31 ERA, 126 WHIP, 6-0 in those starts. But he seems to be very up and down, right? He has a good start, has a not so good start, has a good start, not so good start, right? But I think at this point, and it's almost like with Endy, I think we kind of know what Quinn Priester is, and maybe just level off some expectations you might have had for him. I guess maybe like 2 years ago, he was a talk of the town during COVID, right? Everyone was talking about Quinn Priester in camp, right? Where there's no actual games happening. And then he kind of came out and maybe was overhyped with that. Still, solid pitcher, but I don't think we're looking at Quinn Priester being a top of the rotation type of guy. Fair?
That's fair. What you're going to see out of Quinn Priester, I think, is you're going to see inconsistency. That's probably what you're going to see from him. He's a young pitcher. He's still just 22 years old. Mm-hmm. We're 4 years since he was drafted straight out of high school. He has performed well everywhere he's been. At AAA this year, he's been fine. He hasn't been great. He hasn't been bad. He's been fine. AA last year, it was his best year, really, that he ever put up. But no, you're going to see a guy who I think is going to be inconsistent at times, but he's pretty efficient. He stays around the plate. The command's good. He doesn't walk a ton of batters. He also doesn't strike out a ton of batters. He definitely relies on more like soft contact. He will, he's able to strike people out. He's got his breaking stuff. You'll see it tonight is very good. The curveball that he's going to bring to this staff is probably the best curveball on the team. Like he's probably got the best curveball on the team the day he walks into that clubhouse, which is pretty impressive. And there's some good curveballs on this team.
Yeah.
But the fastball is kind of what's going to limit his ceiling because, and we kind of see similar things with like Luis Ortiz, right? In his fastball, he just doesn't miss a ton of bats. And when you can't, when your fastball is hittable like that, you'll get some good games out of him, like when everything's on. But when that fastball isn't on or when his breaking stuff is off, you're going to get some duds, right? So just expect some growing pains out of Quinn Priester. I do think he's one of those like low variable guys, like low variance guys where like I don't think Quinn Priester is not a major league starter. Like I think at worst you're looking at a number 5 starter in baseball. Like he's a starting pitcher. He's got a 5-pitch arsenal. They're all like they're all okay pitches, and he's got some really good ones. So like the dude's a starting pitcher. It's just going to depend on, can he figure out something to do with his fastball to make it less hittable? Because that's going to define what his ceiling is, right? I think right now his ceiling is probably like the number 3 starter. I think he's going to slate more into like that number four role. So like kind of think of last year JT Brubaker. Last year JT Brubaker is probably what you can expect from Quinn Priester. Inconsistency, but every once in a while he'll get you like a really good start. Sometimes he'll get knocked out after 4 innings, but for the most part, he's going to give you a chance to win every single time. He's going to give you 2 wins above replacement. He's going to be a major league starter that most teams would welcome on their rotation, right?
Yeah.
Don't expect an ace. Quinn Priester's not an ace. The fastball limits that. But I think you can expect someone who, more often than not, is going to give your team a chance to win the game.
As long as that team has an offense, that's to be determined right now.
But hey, now you don't have a 20 WRC plus catcher batting.
Right. So maybe. But yeah, I think that's well said. To kind of quote what you said here as well, I think is the best way of putting it. Quinn's off speed, right, is what gives him the ceiling. His fastball is what gives him the floor. That's what's going to limit him, right? So I'm with you. I think there was a lot of hype with Quinn Priester, but I think it's kind of settled now, right? So I think the expectations are pretty much what you said, and that's fine. Also, like that's fine. What makes it more fine too is the team drafted Paul Skeens, so like you don't need Quinn Priester to be like a top of the rotation type of person, right? You already got Mitch Keller here. If Skeens is here next year, like 1 and 2 is locked up. You need 3, 4s, and 5s. So Quinn Priester, if you could just fill in one of those roles, you start to squint and see a relatively competent rotation in the mix, right, in the future. But yeah, like, and that's not to hate on Quinn Priester at all, So again, like you mentioned, like he certainly has a look of a major league starter. This isn't someone we're calling up and hoping for the best. I guess to put it like with Oviedo, right? Oviedo has stuff, but you could see him being a reliever. Quinn Priester is going to be a starter through and through. So yeah, also again, pretty exciting stuff. He gets the call today. We'll start, so you guys get to see him firsthand. Anything else you want to add to Quinn Priester? I guess just one other thing I just want to add. Nothing that happens to deal with him, but dude, just an absolute unit. Just a house. I mean, strong. Like you just look at him, just strong, rip, cut, everything. Like he's just specimen.
Yeah, I mean he's listed, I think, at 6'3". I'd be shocked if he's not more 6'4" ish. Like he's a big dude. He's your prototypical workhorse starting pitcher. He can go deep into games. He can throw a lot of pitches. Yeah, like he's built to last.
He's built to last.
He's a durable guy.
You sound like my dad talking about his first car.
Yeah, like he's a pretty durable guy. And you're gonna see, like I said, pretty legit arsenal. Like he's got a sinker, he's got a 4-seam, so he's got a couple different versions of his fastball. Slider, curveball are both very good pitches. Mm-hmm. He throws a changeup, and he throws it a pretty decent amount too. And he even sprinkles in a cutter every once in a while. It's a pitch he's working on. But it is something where, yeah, if he can kind of figure out that cutter, that gives him another look on that fastball that maybe helps him out a little bit more. But yeah, like lots of pitches, got a good arsenal, and a lot of the pitchers, like the curveball and the slider, are both excellent pitches. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see Quinn Priester.
Hey, you all, thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.